Plains Indian outfits, which let you know right away that the picture was a trumped-up deal because the Apaches didn't wear anything like what the Sioux Indians wore. But they went and borrowed these costumes from the Comanches and put them in this Cadillac, took a publicity picture. Geronimo was actually in prison at the time. They took the picture to show that Geronimo was coming around and looking more like a white man every day and acting like a white man. And here he is sitting in a Cadillac just like John D. Rockefeller with the top hat and tails. It was sort of a denigrating thing, except that Geronimo turned it into something else. If you look at the picture right into his eyes, there's this fierce survival feeling that comes through. He's almost laughing. He's almost saying, maybe they're making fun of me, but I survived. You know, he did have 50 bullet wounds in his body by the time he was put in captivity, and he didn't die from one of those. He was a farmer. After they let him out of his cell, which they kept him in a 9x9 cell for quite a few years. I don't know if you've ever been to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. That's near Lawton, Oklahoma, and it is really hot there and humid. And he survived that. They let him become a watermelon farmer. He stayed there they didn't have any constraints on him, but he stayed there the rest of his life. And one day going home, riding on a wagon, it hit a bump, a big old rut in the road, and he fell out of the wagon and hit his head. And that's what killed him. It wasn't anything that happened because of the U.S. cavalry, just because of an accident, you know. And isn't that the way life goes, you know, sometimes anyway. Spend a lifetime skydiving and then trip on a brick and die, you know. This is the first song I ever released as a recording artist. It was played out the window at the federal troops when the Lakota Indians, or sometimes called the Sioux Indians, took over the little building at Wounded Knee. It was a symbolic act because they were declaring their own sovereignty over land that they feel had been taken away from them and then given back to them in terms of them living on a reservation that was actually owned by the government. The fact that they played this song out the window at the federal troops that surrounded that little building got me in a lot of trouble. I ended up on the FBI list. And when it comes to politics, I'm real conservative. So when I campaigned for George Bush Sr., riding on his jet one day, he said to me, "Murph, we know you're on an FBI list, but we cleared you to come along anyway." You know, of course, his background was CIA. He said, "Would you like to be taken off that list?" I said, "Absolutely not. I wouldn't trade it for an Academy Award." He laughed and said, "Okay, come along." I feel the same thing that happened to the American Indians is about to happen to American ranchers and farmers. Our land is slowly being confiscated by eminent domain and other very sad excuses, and turned into something other than productive land to grow food. So we'll be living on a reservation too.